Alright, hello guys, another Dragonball Legends video here. I just recorded my opinion about Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, if he's good enough or not. Um, and while thinking about how Vegeta is, and also while talking with some members in my guild, we also came to a topic that I think not many people talked about anymore, and that's the boost system in Dragonball Legends. Uh, And I think they released it in, was it before Legends Fest 2021? So that's almost 4 years now, I think. Now is a good time to kinda look at the boost system and think and judge if they succeeded with their goal, if the boost system is good or not, and if they maybe should remove it or not, or leave it as it is, or maybe fix some things. So yeah, let's just get right into it. So, what was kind of the point of the boost system actually? Why did they even introduce it? And the boost system should usually help for units that are, 2-3 years old, that are just not up to date with the rest of the game, to kind of help them try at least to be usable. So to introduce these 6 different tiers. This tier here right now is for the newer units that come out that are always on boost. That get 20% damage and 50% to blast and strike defense. So new units like the Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta that I talked about are here, Daimagoku. Although I think Daimagoku and Tamagami are also only back because of the Daima campaign. But yeah, also who else we got here? Super Saiyan Goku, Gohan and Trunks, Zamasu. So I would say, yeah, the newer units here of 2025 are all here. Then we have the Z tier, where units get, I'm not gonna summarize it shortly, but these guys here in Z and S tier get extra damage defense, but extra damage for units that they're in the same episode campaign. So, for example, if you want to do this Frieza, who is in, if you look at this, he's in a Frieza Resurrection Saga. So all units that you put on a team, including Bench, I think, that are in the same saga will give him extra damage by, in this case in Z tier, it's 20%. In S tier I think it's only 10%. Also getting 10% less strike and blast defense. At A tier you don't get this episode boost at all anymore, and you just get general damage, here in this case 20% and 50% to strike and blast defense. At B tier it's 10% less damage and 5% less to strike and blast defense, and at C tier you get nothing, as I recall. So, why did the boost system, although giving all these units extra damage and defense, sound very good, why did the boost system didn't really help? And the answer is kind of obvious. It's because these units are way too old to be usable just because of this. Probably in the era of 2021, maybe this would have been still really good, because if you look at the best character in that time before Legends Fest, which was Zenkai Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, he didn't have any crazy abilities either. He was all about having damage, crazy stats, Zenkai stats, and defense. So getting only damage and defense then would have been probably fine, but this is not what Legends is about anymore. You need more. You need cover, no. You need card draw speed. You need abilities like, maybe an AoE green card, or immunities to AoE greens, cost increase, or lower arts cost, all these kind of things. And let's look at, for example, at Z tier this Goku, who released, I think, also, was it in 2020 Legends Fest as part 2 with the purple Vegeta, I think. And if you look at his abilities here, what does he get? Okay, so 30% strike damage, if the enemy gets in. So I think he gets 40% damage on entry, and then like here 30% general damage and 20% reduced damage if one battle member is dead. So that's basically non-existent until someone dies. And these other things here, which is cover change against strikes, which is sweet. What everybody has this now. And when the enemy switch, he gets more reduced damage and reduces the ki of enemies. So that's all he has. No card draw speed, no general damage, no arts cost down, no proper disrupts, so nothing that's up to date with what all units in this game have right now. No debuffing, nothing. So even if you give this guy like 300% damage like all these other units now have, he will not be good enough because in terms of utility he has absolutely nothing. So that's why the Z tier and S tier, for example, didn't really help these units, and that's why in that regard the boost system kinda absolutely failed, because it doesn't help what the real units really need. All these units kinda need the Zenkai so to be relevant and get the proper abilities they need to be useful in the current meta or even viable. Then we also have this boost for new characters, which I will say personally, I don't think why it exists. I don't think it should exist, because all this does is give us us people a false impression of how good a unit actually is. Because on a release they can all look good, because I think also the units get balanced around the boost system, which is bad in my opinion, because what happens if they're off the boost? Like a unit could be okay on boost, like Vegeta, who is okay, or Zamasu, who's also okay. How are they gonna look after the boost system? Are they gonna age well? Are their defenses too low? These are some worrisome issues that these units have with their off boost, but also newer units getting even more damage than they are, because Legends decides to give new units more and more damage every single time. So I think that's boost part is also really bad. I think the unit should be as good as they are without the boost. That's what I think. So that's the problem with this tier. And then if we look at C and B tier. Now in C tier you have units like Majin Vegeta, Ultra Beast, units that are really good obviously right now and shouldn't be on the boost, except for, I mean, if you look at these EX characters, like, why are they here? Like, what do they really think Blue Champa is that crazy of an XE extreme character that they need to be on the boost? But oh my god, Green Jackal on the boost, the hero one. Oh no, he's gonna destroy us all if he's not on C boost. Oh my god, that's really crazy. Like, why is he on here? Why are hero and extreme characters on a C? It's not like they're not crazy. They're not doing anything. In fact, I don't even know who runs these guys. Is the Legends team deciding this on base of users? Because who is running these characters? Like, Blue Mr. Satan I get somehow, because paralyzed stuff and everything, but the rest? Like, why are they on here? What's the purpose? Like, why? But besides focusing on the Sparkings, it makes more sense. I mean, maybe the latest characters are all around Legends Fest, not Legends Fest, Legends Anniversary of last year, so that's fine. But then, looking at B tier, you see, okay, Super Vegeta, makes sense, kinda. Frieza Cell, one of the most questionable releases ever, if you think about it. Like, they released these blue-purple unit, and then 1.5 months later, they released Gohan and Trunks, who have a better kit in every regard, have the same color, are on the future team, and replace them in a second. Like I don't get why they released these units, but whatever. But I get why they're on a B boost at least. But and Baby, for example, Blue 17, okay, makes sense. But then I see the super tech, then I see the tech force here, and I'm like, well, why? Well, people who don't know, they released in 2022. Why are they here on the same boost as Super Baby 2, who released last year? These guys are approaching this year at Legends Fest. They're going to get 3 years old, and on the same tier as a unit released last year, who's 1 year old now. Why? See, on the same boost, it doesn't make any sense, and that's the issue I have with this boost as well. Units that are on boost tiers that they shouldn't be on. Like, how are they deciding who's on which boost part? Because I don't see how the tag force should be here. Like, do they really think that 15% and the 10% defense is gonna be enough for them to be good enough or relevant, even close? Like, and here's the thing: I don't think the tag force are bad units. Like they have abilities that are, I would say, most of them are up to date with the current PvP meta. Like, they have card draw speed. Maybe not the Goku side, but the Vegeta side has double card draw speed. They get cover null. They have a good area green card. They have a cover change. They have a good blue card, like with Vanish Restoration. They have a good ability in case someone rushes them. They can reduce their sub counts for their allies by 10 timer counts by locking in. So if units, for example, just vanished and rush these guys and you can switch out, the enemy won't be able to vanish and is locked in for 5 timer counts. That's really good. Like, these guys are not that bad, for example, but they simply are too old, so their stats are not good enough. And you could argue they needed some more abilities because, like, for example, base card draw speed for Goku, but I think right now, if you would give them more damage and defense, they wouldn't be as bad. So, and that's one of the things I think they should focus on more in the boost system, which is, and that shouldn't be these guys who are so old that they can't be helped even if they give them 500%. Okay, good, 500% damage would be a different story, but these damage numbers here won't help these units to be any relevant or even usable. But guys like, yeah, or even Ultra Gogeta Blue or MUI or here Go Freezer, these are not bad units, I would say. They are just needing more. So why not scrap all these Z and S tier? Or, okay, maybe you could just leave it in just because, but don't focus about these tiers. Remove that tier for the units that shouldn't exist. And just focus about more creating tiers that fit well, so that units like this Purple Cell, who also not bad, getting cover null, multiple card draw speed, good unique gauge that gives him vanish back. That these are all good things to have. They just need better stats, and I think focusing units more about these tiers to give them, okay, maybe they should be in A tiers, in the A boost, so they get the proper damage to be kinda usable. Like Ultra Kid Boost here, I think that's, for example, a good thing. Although I think A tier is the similar thing to this tier here. Yeah, it is. So I would probably say, yeah, you know what? I would probably say scrap these two because they are really not helpful, and put some more teeth to give them more like 50% damage or something like this. So like units like from last year could be more focused about these tiers. Or units that are having a good kit but just not the damage and everything. I think I would even say characters like Super Vegeta could probably be usable. Maybe. I mean, Baby Vegeta for sure. Baby Vegeta doesn't have a bad kit. He just has a defensive gauge which he takes too much damage for to even use. So why not create more tiers that benefit characters like him? Or I don't know, Piccolo, Goku, also not a bad unit, but you kind of don't need them. But I also think on a other tier they could be good enough to be usable. Like this is the thing they should have, they should put more focus on. So I wouldn't remove the boost system, but I would change Z and S tier's priority and remove that tier, because that's just deceiving. Units that maybe seem okay on when they're on this boost are bad now when they get out of it, and I don't like that fact. But yeah, this is my opinion about the boost system. I think that's a very interesting topic, and also think that's something you could maybe give them as a feedback on Anniversary, which is not that far away anymore. Like they usually have this, you know, question thing they do every time on Anniversary, and you can give feedback to them. I think the boost system is something they could actually work on to be useful, because so far it's not the only thing that matters in boost system are the units that are in this tier. Really, that's the only thing that matters. Like every other unit, no one cares. So it's almost the question is he on boost, and if, or when are they off the boost? I also don't get how they decide how long your character should be on boost, because Majin Vegeta was about this as long as Vegito, I think. Which is like, why? And then Beast Gohan got off the boost at the same time as Daima Goku and Tamagami. Makes no sense. So they should really work on the duration, how long some characters are on the boost, and they should work on focusing more on characters that are good enough kit-wise but not good enough on their stats, and work on putting them on the right boost so that they could be at least more usable. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. What's your opinion on the boost? Do you think they should maybe completely remove it? Maybe have different opinion how they could change it? And yeah. But that's all from my side, and wish you all a nice day. See you till next time.